that we've officially had a couple of days after Grand Finals, I think this is the perfect time to grade every trio's FNCS Grand Finals performance. We're going to be talking about what certain trios we're really struggling with and so much more. Before this video starts though, let's hear a word from our sponsor of Exit Lag. We all know that it is literally impossible for everybody able to move to 0 ping, but if you're like me and still wish there was something to help you out with high ping, whether you want to play cross-region tournaments or if you just live far away from the servers, and that is exactly why I have partnered up with Exit Lag and they are here to help. Exit Lag is not just another ping reducer. This program is literally built to optimize your connection in real time using AI, giving you stable ping and even less packet loss, which is the main reason why I feel like Exit Lag is so good for me. It's super easy to download and set up. Simply click the link in the description down below, download the Exit Lag application, open it up, search for Fortnite, then simply hit apply routes and then launch the game, and that's it. You're now an official Exit Lag user. Plus, the FPS boost tool actually helps to squeeze a few more frames when things get extra intense in the end game. And right now, Exit Lag's birthday deal is here. Get 12 months of pro level connection, but only pay for 6. That's a full year for only half the price. This is a limited time offer though, so make sure you act fast. If you're serious about Fortnite and hate losing to lag, try Exit Lag right now, linked in the description down below. Alright, so it is only right to start off with the FNCS champions of Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. Now I think these guys just have to get an automatic A+ since they did win Grand Finals. I thought about potentially giving them an A because I thought that they could have played even better than they did. I feel like their performance last Grand Finals, even though they got second, was kind of in a way better than their performance in this Grands. I said this in yesterday's video, but this trio has looked very beatable over the past 2 seasons. I think the time of Peterbot just dominating every single tournament, including Grand Finals, is slowly going away, and I think there is 3 trios on NA that are going to have a real argument to be able to pass him up. I do still believe that Peterbot is the greatest player in the world, and he is probably the greatest player of all time as well, but at certain points in this Grand Finals, I don't know how to describe this, but he looked very human in it, and it wasn't like the Grand Finals Peterbot that we all know today. His performance on day 2 was 100% better than on day 1. This trio did still finish with the most amount of elims and the second most consistent team, so I do still think that they earn an A+ grade. Let's move on to a team though that did disappoint me, of Swizzy, Queasy, and Murstache. I think these guys are going to get a C- grade for me. They were most people's pick to win the whole thing. They somehow did even worse than last season where they were contested off spawn for 12 out of 12 games in Grands and finished in 4th place. So I think a lot of people's expectations for them is if they can get 4th while contested. This team has the greatest IGL in Fortnite history and then 2 of the best fighters on all of EU. There's no way they finished outside of that top 3, and a lot of people, including myself, thought that they would win Grand Finals, so them finishing in 5th place definitely doesn't give them the best grade, and that is why I'm giving them a C-. I think a trio that we could call the most surprising team of the weekend was Visuals, Braids, and Diminished. Now I am giving these guys an A grade. They were able to finish 4th place while being the most consistent team of the entire tournament, and they were also the only team that was able to finish inside of the top 7 that wasn't considered like the Fantastic 7 of NA. People have been talking about for so long which trio is going to break their way into that top 7 of NA, and it looks like Visuals, Braids, and Diminished have officially done that. These guys just play such a consistent play style. They're not going to ever be the team that is going to finish with the most elims or even probably top 5 in elims in a tournament. This trio just has so much chemistry together because they have been playing together since basically trio started. We might officially have a marvelous 8 on NA. Unless you're trying to kick someone out of the top 7, then you guys can let me know who's getting kicked out in the comment section down below. Another team that I think deserves an A grade is Pix, Darm, and Demas. They went from 15th place on day 1 to 3rd place overall. I think they would have been an A+ if they had a better day 1, but it is kind of just hard to give like that perfect grade to a trio that was literally in 15th place after day 1, since Grands is a 2-day tournament. But you guys are always going to have to put this team in consideration to win Grand Finals every single season. I have been saying this for so long now, but this is the future of EU. For these guys to be so composed after day 1, knowing that they are struggling, knowing that they are playing playing nowhere near their expectations and somehow being able to block out all of the noise and perform the best out of almost any trio on day 2 from a team that was only playing in their second ever grand finals just shows so much maturity. A trio that I haven't really been super high on though all season long, ever since they basically formed together, was the trio of Kanata, Bolt, and Sphinx. I think I have to give them a C- grade. They honestly finished around where I expected them to, so I wasn't personally like disappointed in their performance or anything, but I know a lot of their fans predicted them to do a lot higher than this. In the Division 1 Cup Finals, they finished in 7th, and in Grand Finals, they finished in 7th as well. I know they had a lot of very unlucky zone pulls on day 1. We might just have to come to the reality that they are just the 7th best team on NA. I think that this trio's pure potential is like a top 3 trio on the region, but they quite literally have done absolutely nothing to show me that so far. Like every single tournament, I'm just left wanting more out of this team, and they continue to show me that after Grand Finals. I don't know if these guys are going to be sticking together or not. They show that they do still have some promise, finishing with the 3rd most elims in the entire tournament and winning the very final game as well. I think just based off of their pure potential, if they do want to stick together and continue to grind and just try to get better together, I think it would be a smart thing to do. But right now, I just can't rate them much higher. The next trio I want to talk about is Malabuka, Ping, and Wax. Now I think I'm just going to give them a B+. I would 100% wanted to give them like an A or even higher if they're able to finish in the top 3. They were like far and away the best team on day 1, and then some things that were just completely out of their control happened to them on day 2, of course, when they got contested by Vino, Vico, and Flixie. I think that this trio did show that they have the potential to be the best team on the entire region, and I've even seen a lot of people make an argument that they were the best team in this entire grand finals, but I think I just have to give them a B+, even though a lot of the reason why is from a lot of things that were just out of their control. Let's talk about Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs now. I think I have to give this team an A+. They arguably played the best out of any team on NA all the way into game 12. They even had a real chance at winning grand finals, and then they ended up only losing by 11 points. This trio had so many insane duo clutches, so many insane moments from each of them as individual players as well. And for a lot of the games in this tournament, they looked even better than Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. I love the chemistry that all 3 of these guys have together. I think there even was still areas for improvement for this team, since a lot of their super good games did come off of duo and solo clutches. And if they were just able to be a full trio going into those end games, then I think they would have had even more of a chance of winning grands. I know everyone wants to point to Higgs right now for saying that he sold their grand finals. I don't think that is the truth or anything like that. I think that they had the opportunity so many different times in this grands to pass Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual, and we can't act like they didn't just have 11 more games before that to do that as well. I'm not putting their second place fully on the back of Higgs or nothing like that. I still think that these guys played absolutely insane. A team that I probably can't say the same thing for though is unfortunately Mr. Savage, Vidil, and Rezon. I think I have to give them a D grade for this grand finals. They finished in 19th place, and I know they had some very rough off spawn situations and some bad zones as well, but they only had 3 games where they even placed inside of the top 10. And we can't just act like they were contested for every single game either. I think the reason why I was just very surprised that they placed as bad as they did is because we did just see Mr. Savage place top 8 with Panzer and Mongrel last season, and I think a lot of us, including myself, kind of did assume that they were going to do better than that. I wonder how their tournament would have actually looked if they were going to be uncontested for 12 out of 12 games in this grands. I think even when they were able to make it into endgame, they still did show that they have a lot of things to improve on going into the future now. I'm glad that Mr. Savage did pretty much confirm that he is coming back for next season, but this team, since they weren't trading Surge with anybody, even if they were able to make it off spawn, they were just majorly struggling with Surge for so many of their games, which is a meta issue, but I think I just have to give this trio a D grade. Moving on to Muzris and Yapko, I think I have to give these guys a C. They finished in 8th place in grands. The thing about this trio is they had the real possibility to win 4 games in this grand finals. They finished in 2nd place 3 separate times. They only had 1 win, so their potential to place so much higher was there. They were just not able to get the job done. I think another trio that I just have to give a C- grade to is Agers, Acorn, and Puyo. These guys should be minimum top 3 every single grand finals with the caliber of players that they have. Like, they quite literally have Acorn, who was one of the best IGLs in the entire world, Agers, who's one of the best fraggers in the entire world, and Puyo is also one of the best players in the entire world. Like, they have 2 of the most prolific grand finals players of all time on this trio with Acorn and Puyo while they were uncon for 12 out of 12 games and trading Surge every single game as well. I'm gonna be surprised if you guys wanted to honestly rank these guys even lower than a C-. Like a top 5 is just nowhere near where these guys should be placing. Let's go back to some positive grades though, like Venya, Pixie, and Marius getting an A+ grade since they did win grand finals, and they also look like the best high ground team in the entire lobby that has the best high ground player of all time in it. They did have a lot of things go their way with like Malabuka getting contested and getting some zones as well, but a win is a win at the end of the day, and they maximized their things that went right for them to the best of their abilities, and Marius and Pixie officially got their first ever FNCS wins. Let's unfortunately move on to another trio that I have to give a D grade to, of Bucky, Ocus, and Cam. Now, I mean, I guess you could also blame these zones for these guys, but they didn't play anywhere near that their potential actually was. They had uncon drum gun for pretty much every single game and weren't even necessarily close to finishing inside of the top 10, which they 100% should have been. These guys were like on the highest trajectory going into grand finals, and so in 18th place is just really disappointing out of them. I feel like the last couple tournaments before grands especially show that this team does have real potential to be a top 10 team on the region. They just really didn't show any of that potential in grand finals. Another trio that I think does deserve an A+ grade is for Doxy, Pablo, and Chino. This team finished top 2 while having win potential for pretty much the entirety of day 2. They tied for the most elims in grand finals, and pretty much I didn't see anybody even expect them to finish inside of the top 5. I've been saying this for so long, but this is going to be one of the scariest trios going into next season now, and pretty much the rest of the year in general. They're always probably going to get the best drop spot on the entire map uncontested, even if a team tries to contest them. For Doxy is known as one of the best and most prepared off-spawn players of all time. The future is so bright for this team, and them showing that they can place highly in a grand finals, paired up with the fact that they're going to be getting the best drop spots now, this team might also be a potential grand finals winning team each and every single season. And then the last trio that I want to give an A grade to is Ree, Cooper, and Curley. They finished top 3 while only being a trio for less than a month and switching IGLs from Reed to Cooper literally like a week before FNCS started. They did get kind of blessed getting a lot of zones on day 1, but they made the most out of their opportunities and were able to qualify for LAN when not a lot of people believed in these guys. I feel like all 3 of these players were some of the most disrespected players going into this FNCS. He was getting dropped left and right. A lot of people were saying Curley couldn't be a top player in grand finals, and then Cooper has always just been disrespected as not being one of the best IGLs on NA, and I think this team really did just prove so many people wrong. Other than that though, let me know what you guys would grade each of these players in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. Please just go K-Dog in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. YouTube says I'm enjoying one of these 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. I should hopefully have the updated Peterbots Peak video dropping either tomorrow or the next day, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.